Hi, this is Pam, Flower Patch Farmhouse, and today I am going to share with you how I propagate dahlias from cuttings. Now let me see, here's one that has two sprouts coming off the tuber, and the tuber's planted close to the surface in this 1 gallon pot, and I will show you how I take those cuttings and I put them into a smaller pot to root, and then later on I will show you how I pot these on when they have rooted. This is a dahlia tuber planted in a 1 gallon pot. This one over here, back here, is planted in just a little leftover container. You can see, look at all those roots. But what I was wanting was the shoots. And I planted it with the top of the tuber showing so that I could have good visibility to take the cuttings when it was time. So here I have a jar of rooting medium, and this is here the sprout. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just taking my sharp knife. This is just a small paring knife. I hope it's sharp enough. I haven't checked, but I like to use a X-Acto knife for this, but mine has busted. So, and forgive my chickens for cackling. She just thinks she's something else because she laid an egg. But right here at the base, where the sprout connects to the tuber, I just cut it free. And then I'm going to take off these lower leaves, just trim them off like that. I'll leave the top one, but these lower ones are off. And then I'm going to put it down into the rooting medium. And then there's another one right here that I'll take off as well. And let's see if I can do it from this side so you can see what I'm doing. Now some say to take like a dime size piece off the mother tuber, and others say none of the mother tuber because it can cause problems. So I've done it both ways. I haven't had any issues yet. So there is that piece. You see, this is supposedly where the leaves will come out. Roots was where these leaves are. So I'll put that down into my rooting medium. Okay, so here is my soil and this is like a 4-inch pot. And I'm going to just use a tool to make a spot. Now I'm going to put them around the edges. Now the theory on this is that when it makes roots, it will force them to break to the sides rather than just going straight down as if it was in the center. Now here's my cutting, and I will put it right in there where I made the hole with actually this is my X-Acto knife handle that broke, so I'm putting it to good use now. And then I'll get the other cutting out of the rooting medium, and I will put it here. Now, normally I would mark the name of or color of the dahlia, but since the mother plant is a mystery, because when I dug up my dahlias last fall, I was in a hurry and I just threw them all into a container with how I store them. And I didn't put the names on them, so they will be a surprise. Now most of mine are in the color ranges of the pinks and burgundies, so they will just go well together no matter what colors. So I will water this in after, well, I'm going to do my others first. I wanted to note that I leave one of the sprouts growing. That will continue to grow up, and that will be the plant for this tuber. It could throw up more shoots, but I'm done taking cuttings from this one. I'll just set it aside and let it continue growing on until it's time to put out in my garden, which around here is probably after the 3rd weekend of May, and maybe even later depending on how warm the soil gets. Usually the soil should be, I think they say above 50. I'll have to look that up to be sure. Now this one has a ton of sprouts coming up on it, so it's a good candidate to take cuttings from. Now right here, this one's above on the top, and I just take it off like that, put it in my rooting medium. Here's this one down here. Hopefully I'm in the camera. Let me look. This one right here, I will take it off from the mother. I can take the leaves off just carefully here. I don't want to strip it down because you could cause problems on this part. Now that's a perfect one for rooting. I can take this one from underneath here, or I can go ahead and take this one up here. I think I'll take this one up here. This is another one of those unnamed ones from the basement that was stored from last year, and it seems to be a very healthy specimen. And let's see, do I want to take any more? That one has a couple of nice growth on it. And here again, here's the starts in the rooting medium. I'm placing my little dauber in there. I forgot to pull these off. I'm pinching them off with my thumbnail. And just poke that down in there gently so I don't break the cutting. So that, now if this had been moister, which it could have been, it would have held together better rather than just falling down, because I want it to hold together, the soil I mean, so it doesn't fill the hole. And I wanted to get that down below the soil line, that where the leaves were, and it's just not working. And again, one more. I know I'm getting my hand in the way, so I should have had this to the side. There we go. So I'll let them get rooted, and then I will pot them into larger pots, or even maybe out in the garden. Now, I won't necessarily get blooms this year from these, but they'll develop a nice tuber and then be ready to roll for next year. And that's just a way to increase your stock. And so again, this one doesn't have a name, so I'm not going to put a name on it. I'm just going to put them out in the garden and see what happens, see come what may. And that is basically how you take dahlia cuttings to increase.